beautiful 23 degrees Celsius here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Good morning and welcome to your daily dose of sunshine, Sunrise Daily. I'm Maokwe Ogun-Yusuf.
For some reason this morning it's 26 degrees in Lagos. It's not supposed to be more than just maybe 24, when it's 23 in Abuja. What's going on here? Anyway, good morning and welcome. I'm Ayo Makinde. Today is the 29th day in the month of July 2025. Whatever you're counting down to it, it's just, well, today is July 29th.
Well, Ayo, you know, I did tell you yesterday that it was a rainy morning, and really it rained most of the day, and it was a day we were expecting the African champions, the Super Falcons, on their return trip, their victorious trip back to Nigeria, where they were going to be received by the president. And something miraculous happened yesterday. I mean, in spite of all of the rains, at some point during the day, just right in the afternoon, as if even the weather knew that even the Super Falcons were coming home, the sun came out. It was just beautiful to watch. And I'm sure that they had a dry trip, a dry and sunny trip all the way to the presidential villa. So I think even the weather sometimes, you know, will celebrate you when you need to be celebrated. It was really beautiful watching what happened at the presidential villa, you know, showers of honors and cash, and it was just good to see that, you know, when people put in the work, they get the reward, and they are appreciated for the honor that they've done their country, their motherland. Was just beautiful to watch. I know you have a lot of comments, you know, from our guest who is currently in the studios in Lagos. So, Ayo, I'm going to ask you to take it away.
You know, the first thing that I want to ask him, as I would everyone, is something that the president said. I think the president and I must have been sitting in the same chair that day, when he said he was afraid to watch the match for good reason. Because according to him, and it's what I always say as well, I'm watching my BP. But then we're thankful that, you know, all of that happened. And then from the very first announcement the president made, the first thing you would hear the girl singing was, "That's our father. We don't have another one. That's our father." Anyway, well, Mr. Wale Fatade is here with us in the studio. He is a journalist and a commissioning editor at The Conversation Africa. Thank you for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Good to be here.
Did you watch that match?
I did.
Well,
I
the only
did.
thing that you reminded me of, because I didn't watch, I gotta be honest.
I did.
Okay, the only thing that reminded me of was what we call, was it the Rwandan...
Daman miracle.
The Daman miracle.
1988.
Yes, when we went from, was it 3-0?
4-0. Down to 4-4.
Down to, up to 4-4, and then we won by penalties. Yeah. That's what it
was in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
The Flying Eagles then, as it was called. I
yes.
remember, it was a Saturday. Now, I gave up at a point. But I remember my son, and he'll be watching now, he said, "Daddy, you will still go back to eat." So I gave up. The other people, they left me in the house. I was the only one. I was jumping up and down, lamenting about Ashley. The defender, the right back, or the center back, from whom the 2 goals came. And I was saying, no, this is what Mr. Madugu should do come second half. And it's as if the man was spying my notes. He made those changes and then the score came. It was in the process of jubilating that my wife woke up, who does not like football at all, whether man or woman. And immediately the second goal got in. I told my son, I said, "We are winning this game, and it's not going to extra time." He said, "Do you mean?" I said, "Now these guys have energy. They have impetus to go and win it." And that was what happened.
Interesting.
Kudos to them. Congratulations to them.
Most certainly. You know, the president hailed it, the vice president hailed it, and all of that. But there's something that's already getting some people talking, and that is the reward. I remember there was a government, I don't remember which match it was that Nigeria won on a global or continental scale, and they made, the government of the day made announcements of things. I think it was in 1988.
There have been many, or 1994, 1980, the Cup of Nations,
the Green Eagles,
that was hosted, the Shekwandegba generation, and Christian Chukwu.
Yes, I think they made some announcements to some, you know,
Felix Owolabi and
the rest of them. But then it didn't come, you know, for a long time. But let's not talk about whether or not it's going to.
But another one made in '94 just came this year or last year.
Anyway, let's talk about the rewards first before we talk about
For me, and I think the ladies or women perform excellently well. It's the giver that determines what he wants to give. We are not sitting in the seat of the president. But for me, the first thing should have been the president finding out whether there are other allowances that have been paid. I think it was before the Zambian game. That was the semi-final game. Or was it the South African game? I mean, Zambian game was the quarter-final. South Africa was the semi-final. That, excuse me, there was a threat that they were going to boycott the game because the allowances have not been paid. And so, in as much as the president did very well, I think there should have been that checks and balances of the NFF as he paid all what he owes the Falcon players. That's one. Number two, remember these are free sociolinguistics. The only thing I have grounds against was the president announcing those rewards in dollars. No. It seemed to perpetuate our dollarized economy. Fine, we know dollar is the global currency at certain level, but some people are resisting that. You will not find a Macron or a Starmer announcing anything that is not euros or British pounds.
Let's be clear. What the president said was
in other naira equivalent. But then you should have just mentioned 1,000. I mean 100,000. That's 15 million naira. By 1,500. As I was coming, I was asking a colleague who covers that area that what was the exchange rate yesterday, and he said it was 1,538 naira. So that's just about 15 million naira.
Are you sure it's 15 million naira, 150 million naira?
No, it's not up to that.
Okay.
Multiply 100,000 by you can.
Well, you know, I'm not good at my failed.
I'm not too, so I did it. That's why you and I are only at a certain level. But I did that. And so it's the total package, and I like some of our colleagues the way they reported it, was about 4.2, 4.5 billion naira. For everything they have done. But I hope those things will come quickly. Not when Rashida Dajibade, who by the way is from Osun State, we are proud of her.
You just have to say that.
I have to rub it in from Ikion in Osun State. I mean, not when she's now a grandmother, before the rewards will come. And I thank God the governors are pitching something too. I look forward to their state government.
I told you, it's 150 million naira. I just calculated it now. You failed maths.
I agree. I didn't deny. I hope their state governments will do better too. And I think this should make us to kickstart female football more. I mean, you rarely see girls playing football around the way you see boys. So if these have shown us that what our male team achieved last under the late Stephen Keshi, these ladies that they were not, even when they overran the periphery of likely winners, they were not rated. Well, most people tip South Africa or Morocco.
Anyway, while we are celebrating that, it's also that concern of the Lagos doctors' pay cuts. Even though we were supposed to have a conversation with one of them yesterday, we understand that the doctors employed by the Lagos State government condemned the salary reductions in July. And they were supposed to, I'm not sure.
What I learned was that it was reduced earlier in the year. It was reinstated. It was reduced again. And what is happening? That's all. So if you believe they deserve it, that's why you gave them before. Why withdrawing it? And doctors are in high demand everywhere. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Even the NHS doctors in England, they were on strike, asking for better pays, especially the junior doctors. So each professional reserves the right to negotiate his or her own wages.
One other rather disturbing discussion is this GMO conversation in Nigeria. My colleagues on the morning brief had a conversation yesterday with the DG of Nigeria's Biodiversity Agency. Yeah. And then this morning they hosted another fellow who, both of them are at variance. One is saying we cannot do without GMO in Nigeria. Another one, the one they hosted this morning, the DG.
Yeah, that must be the DG,
yes,
yeah.
And this morning, the professor, also a specialist in the field, who came said, look, no, I don't agree.
I align with the professor. Okay. And by the way, I took a degree in molecular biology, so I know these things. Nigerian government approved GMO foods in 2020 or 2022, I think. Ghana did last year, 2024. But then, earlier this week or late last week, I can't remember, but I remember reading that there are already protests in Kenya who approved GMO crops before either both Nigeria and Ghana. because the seeds are no longer available. The problem, for me, they've been telling us that without that, Africa cannot feed itself, Africa will go hungry. And then when you see what happened yesterday, East and Central African countries, they have been, the FAO just released a report, I think yesterday, that they are stemming, they are moving down into extreme hunger, just like the report they released about Nigeria about 2 weeks back too. Our problem is not that we can't feed ourselves. Our problem is we don't have access to the crops. Now, our problem for us in Nigeria, because of the Sahelian problem, is security. People cannot go to farms. And that actually moved down to the southwest, whereby we have problem with herdsmen dumping on cattle or goats, moving on people's farm, destroying farms. But the problem for GMO is this. GMO comes with a new seed, or new seeds rather, and that seed is not readily available. Farmers have to buy. And research has shown us that when the new seeds come, they dominate the old seeds or seedlings and exterminate them. And so farmers or growers now depend on the marketers that are selling the seeds. And that's a very dangerous thing. You who sell those seeds control your ability to feed people. I don't support GMO.
But each time we have this kind of conversation, the thing that comes to my mind is, I have been privileged to fly over parts of Nigeria, both by aeroplane and helicopter. And I have seen how green the land is.
We can farm.
I traveled from Lagos to Isheyin, where Oyo State has its what they call the Fashola.
Fashola has been on since the time of Awolowo.
Now,
it was the old farm settlement.
Even the road to Fashola, all green and lush. So I'm wondering, when I hear stuff like we can't feed ourselves.
It's not correct.
I'm asking a question.
Yes.
What is the problem?
Now, part of the problem is we are still depending on people who farmed the way my grandfather farmed, hoes and cutlasses. How many mechanized farms have you seen in this part of the world? I mean, the kind of production level that we needed, we don't have. So if we can jack up our production, and now you'll be shocked, some of those farm settlements that the late Obafemi Awolowo created in the southwest have been sold. Some of them have been converted to housing estates. And so who are the farmers who are farming? That's number one. Number two, what about farm inputs? I don't know whether you know how much a bag of fertilizer goes for now. So those are issues. And then nobody is farming again.
Interestingly, when you say nobody is farming again, raises a question, because from the AFDB alone, Africa Development Bank alone, I am aware of a significant amount of investments in Nigeria's agricultural space.
What's our population?
No, I'm coming somewhere. So and the SAPZ is just one. Cumulatively, they are looking at $1.5 billion of investment in every state of Nigeria, cumulatively, if not more than that. On the SAPZ alone, Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones, that's just one.
Machinery?
Then there are also several other smaller initiatives like that all over the country, and these are federal government guaranteed state investments from the AFDB. So the question that I'm asking is, when you talk about absence of mechanized farming and all, and we talk about insecurity and all those things, I am aware from that initiative alone, insecurity is dealt with, because it is
just like that.
Yes, because
now,
in each of the zones, the way it is designed, just a second, in each of the zones is all cordoned off. So it's a place you just get in there with your seed and you come back with products.
Those who are actively farming, how many of them have you met? 2 weeks ago, I was with one of them over the weekend, retired from one of these multilateral agencies, almost 70, who went into farming in Dawa, their old Ibadan, near Ido, when you are coming from Abeokuta, going through before you get to Apata and Co. And the kind of things he shares with me, you'll be shocked. How much does it take to plow an acre now? How much does it take to hire a plow to plow an acre? It's not cheap. The kind of investment farming needs in this part of the world, we are not making that. That's one. And then for that kind of intervention by AFDB, how many farmers will it go around? The CBN under the last government spent so much under the anchor borrowers. I mean, there are cases in court because of that now. So what are we saying? Does the loan get to the fellow who are the real farmers? And when people now say, you can farm in your house, you can do this, fine, you can do that in your area, they forget those of us who are living in Lagos. In fact, do agriculture, good farming in sack. How long will that take? Children are at home now. If you are a father of children in secondary school, the last 1 week they've been home, you would have seen the consumption pattern rise.
All right, let's talk about politics, because we've just spoken about policy. Now we're talking about politics. The latest that we're hearing now is the expulsion of Malam Nasir El-Rufai, who exited the APC to the SDP. And according to the SDP, he's now been expelled for 30 years from the party, accusing him of forgery, self-registration, and destabilizing the party's structure. What do you make of this? The SDP is not a new party.
Ridiculous for me. The ridiculosity of it is in the, how do you expect somebody for 30 years? Did he tell you he wants to come back? I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, the basic thing in law, and I'm sure lawyers will remember, is that you don't make a law you cannot enforce. Parties are so fluid in Nigeria. It's not based on ideology. It's not based on anything. They are just mere identity cards to be elected into position. We have seen that over and over again. So, and then there are some other reports I read that said he's not actually a member. So if I'm not a member, why are you expelling me? Excuse me.
What do you mean that he's not a member?
There was some report I read like that.
He's been accused of self-registration.
What does that mean? They say he didn't register in his ward. I mean, so what is the offense?
Okay, so if he is not a member of the party, you can't expel him from the party to
you can't do something on, you can't do something or nothing now. And you know, it calls to question the quality of our reportage too. Do we just step back? I mean, why don't we step back and look at it with another pair of lenses that, what does this say? Break it down for people. This is what it means. And then we saw Malam El-Rufai and what is the name of this new coalition? Is it ADA or ADC? ADC. So what will we do with SDP again?
Well, still talking politics. It seems the dust hasn't quite settled on the outcome of the local government elections that took place in Lagos. Some members of the APC in Agege local government area of the state staged a protest in the course of the week. And what their words, they are definitely not just happy with what they.
Yeah, part of their concern is that they are hungry. They said they hunger, and I said that means they are not in sync with the president in Abuja.
Is that why they rejected the result and staged a protest over perceived irregularities during the internal voting process?
Internal democracy is alien to APC. So why are they crying now?
What do you mean by that?
Good question. Our present governor in Lagos State, how did he emerge?
Are you a member of the APC?
I'm just asking.
I'm asking you.
No, I'm concerned because APC is the government in power in Lagos State where I reside. I'm not.
So how do you know that there was no?
No, we know because you and I know because I'm a reporter. If you have been following APC, there were crises after the local government election or primaries. There were crises. They kept on talking that we will not agree, we will not go agree, we will not go agree. But this is what happened. So why are they crying now? You see, the time you benefited, you did not cry. But because your camp or whatever lost that, now you are crying. Let them sort out themselves.
So we hold no sympathies for them.
Okay, now, if I benefited from you as a colleague, as a friend before, and I didn't announce that outside, the day you now refuse to dance to my dad, and I say, oh, your marking day is bad. Deal with it by yourself. So what are they saying? They said they are hungry. And that was the one I told myself, no, they can't be, because the president said he's doing fine. So how can, if the rest of us are hungry, APC members should not be hungry?
The concern here is that this is grassroots level politics, and we don't need to, argue too much about it. It's something you can also say as well, speak to as well.
Yes.
The fact that Lagos State is pretty much one of the most stable politically, from all the states in the country in terms of evolution of leader after leader and all of that. So if they
because that is tightly controlled.
If they are struggling at this time, it's put into question what we call grassroots level politics, because all politics are local, isn't it?
Now, when you look back, and I study our politics, we've studied political machines globally. There's one called Tammany Hall in New York City. He controlled New York politics for long. There's a daily political machine in Chicago. He controlled that for a long. And so there's a Tinubu political machine in Lagos that is working. is controlling that. So you either fall in line or you ship out. That's all.
Interesting.
And so when you are beneficiary of that system, you don't complain. And I'm not saying I support this system because I'm not a member of APC, but you now don't come outside and want you can't break the whole matter.
Well, Mr. Wale Fatade, thank you so much for your time this morning. He's a journalist and commissioning editor.
Thanks for having me.
The Conversation Africa. Appreciate your time. When we return, Mapwe has a guest, and we're still talking something pseudo-politics. Stay with us. Before we go to Abuja, here is a conversation about something that's been making the rounds. We have received information in Lagos, particularly under the Ikeja distribution company, the sphere of their influence, that there's going to be a significant quantum of power loss over the next 30 days. And I think that starts today or thereabout. We'll get more information about that and a number of other issues from Mr. Sunday Odunton, who is the CEO of ANET. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. That's a very troubling, issue already, isn't it?
It's not troubling.
It is troubling.
No, it is not.
Okay. There is going to be power outage for 30 days, and it is not troubling.
It's not a blanket power outage. It's not a blackout.
So
let me explain what is going on.
Thank you.
And let me start by saying that this is what happens all over the world. In the Western countries, UK or Europe and America, you have to do this periodic planned maintenance. Your car must be due for servicing. Your brand new Mercedes, you still have to take it to the dealership for maintenance. But if you have two cars, when you take one to the dealership, you are still going about in another car. But if you have only one car, when you go out like that, you have to make do with Okada or taxi, or you walk. In the power sector, this is the difference between what we're doing today and what happened in other climes. I'll use UK as an example because I lived there for long. If we have enough power generation in the country, we would then have extra that will just be there. Reserve is what they call it. So, for example, assuming as a country, right now we need about 30,000 megawatts. We are hovering between 5,000, 5,500. Even say we are between 5,000 and 6,000 megawatts right now. But our need is about 30,000. Assuming we have about 35,000 megawatts and we need 30,000. So that means we have reserve. So once you need to do maintenance in an area or a place or a state or some states, what you now do is you just switch to that reserve while you're doing it. So your customers or members of the public will not even be aware that something is going on. But in our case, I'm afraid it is because what we have is not enough ab initio. And now we want to switch off part of what is not enough in order to do an upgrade, in order to create a better situation for the sector. What the Transmission Company of Nigeria is trying to do, and they started yesterday, what they are doing, and which is commendable, is to ensure that they maintain this line. People call it high tension cable. That's what people know. The transmission line is what people call high tension cable. They are the transporter of electricity from the point of generation to the point of distribution. Now, without them, we cannot supply electricity to you. Without them, the producer of electricity cannot get it to the end user. Whenever they need to do this maintenance, we should do it. We have an option. It's an option between them doing this maintenance, planned, well coordinated, or allowing the high tension cable to either collapse or snap, which is dangerous. So what they are doing is from 28th of July, yesterday, until Thursday, the 21st of August, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily.
And that is where the question usually arises.
Yes.
what's the assurance that people will get the electricity supply will be restored at 5 p.m. daily?
We now need to start believing in our institutions. I'm not a TCN person. I'm a spokesman for the discourse. But I can tell you for a fact that what they are trying to do has been planned over a long period of time, and they will surely keep to exactly what it is. These are engineering work. This is not law. We lawyers, if I'm your lawyer, I can tell you this case in court, don't worry, we should be able to get judgment in 3 weeks' time. That's not guaranteed. Engineering work, they know exactly what they need to do here, there, this is how long it will take, and this is why it is taking this long. 25 days because it is not 24 hours. If they're going to do it 24 hours, they will have done it within less than 2 weeks. But that would not be good for the economy. What they have done is to say, okay, we do our work, plug it back. It's a plug and pin situation. It's not as if they don't know what they are doing. And let's give it to them. Every stakeholder in the power sector today are working together, beginning with our regulators. All these things are planned, well coordinated, and there's a lot more collaboration now than we had in 2015 September when I was here on Sunrise Daily.
There was another, a similar issue, and I'm sure my colleague in Abuja, Malkwa, will want to come in on this conversation as well. Something had happened, particularly along the line of the same electricity supply in terms of metering and all of that. You know, earlier my colleague in the studio was joking about the fact that, you know, they don't have electricity and stuff. But there is a bigger issue around that of the supply of meters to people's homes. There are people right now watching us that are on estimated billing. There are people who do not have meters, who have applied under the free meter initiative, but some of those things were probably diverted and all of that. So what happens to those people now? The old meter, regime is outdated, and people can't even load electricity on their devices anymore and power their homes with it because those things don't work anymore. So what happens now? They don't have meters. Okay,
thank you very much. The issue of meter or metering is sometimes it can be rather complicated because since 2013, when the president took place in November, between that time and now, we have gone through 3 or 4 schemes of metering. It's like we're trying, okay, this one's not working well, let's try this. Okay, let's do this. The current situation is that we have not been able to fill the metering gap. So definitely some people are still not metered. But meters have been made more available today than it was 2 years ago, for instance. But that is not to say that we are there. I said this elsewhere. The privatization of the Nigerian power sector is a journey on its own. And it's a very long journey. So sometimes you have to take one step after the other. I'm not saying it is a perfect system. I'm not saying we, all of us, or we even the discourse, I'm not saying we're doing well enough. What I'm saying is that if everybody played their part, from government to service providers to customers, the end users, then the thing will become better with time. So I do recognize the fact that, yes, there are issues with metering. Yes, we have people, this morning in your studio, 2 of your staff came to me and told me about their problem regarding when they find it difficult to vent. All those technical glitches and issues, they do exist. But efforts are being made continuously to improve on it.
The problem with that one, just a second, the challenge with that one is that people don't get communication. No one is talking to the people. So if you say that the issues are being resolved, but no one is telling the people anything, it is practically taking the people for granted.
Thank you. But you, the media people, also have a role to play. I'm here now on a TCN maintenance, not disco maintenance.
Do you have any idea how many times we've tried to, how many ideas we've tried to get into the studio, CEOs of discos that have refused to speak for one reason or the other?
When I speak to you, the CEOs of 11 discos are talking to you at once.
You are not the one that is running the organization, because there are those who would argue that what you only have are comments because you are not even recognized by the Constitution, but they are recognized.
Okay, I am recognized by law. So when you say I'm not recognized by the Constitution, when you have an association or a body that is duly registered, that is recognized by law. Okay, so don't go into the issue of...
Anyway,
but the point I'm making is this. The point I'm making is this. This is your studio. I cannot tell you how you should position your camera or what your producer should do. What I should be interested in is whether you are dishing out the right program or whether I'm enlightened by what you come out with. But when you keep on saying, I want to say the CEO, or it has to be the CEO, that is wrong. That doesn't work even in other clients.
No, sir.
I'm not saying...
one of the agencies, one of the organizations, just a second, one of the organizations that govern our practice, not the industry, our practice, is NIJ. To beg your pardon, NUJ. NUJ cannot speak for Channels Television. NUJ can speak for practitioners of Channels Television. The same way ANET can speak for the organization, but you can't speak for the CEO. But anyway, we'll talk about that one maybe some other time.
If you want the CEOs, I'll even like their face, I'll bring them to you.
Very well, we'll love that one.
Marco, go ahead. I'll bring them.
Marco, go ahead.
Believes that Band A should be scrapped because it is exploitative. I do not know whether that conversation is still ongoing, given the fact that we've seen in recent times some state governments, through their regulatory bodies, trying to now say that what it is that Band A charges are in their states are quite exploitative, and they are now determining that other rates should be charged. How is that conversation currently ongoing?
Thank you very much, Marco. We are talking about Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission. The Electricity Act of 2023, as amended, is very clear. And the intention of that act is to enable states to have that independence to be able to generate, transmit, and distribute their own electricity. That will increase the quantum of electricity, the quality of service. It will enable us as a country, as a nation, to have more electricity. But now it's like we're in transition at the early stage of this, until each of those states are able to do all of this within the boundary of their state. That's when they have 100% independence to charge or to set the tariff that they like. For instance, Enugu, Ogun State, my state, can decide to say, okay, we're generating our own electricity, transmitting it and distributing within Ogun State, and in doing so, we want to do it for 2 naira per kilo hour. That's their state. They have the right to do that. But the moment Ogun State go outside the boundary to take electricity across the boundary, then it becomes something else. What it becomes is that you cannot put a price tag on somebody else's product. If you want to do that, then if the price, like the Band-A, is not exploitative, like you said, Malkwe, what Band-A does is, if a time is coming when all of us in Nigeria are going to be on Band-A, and I keep saying this, that may be 5 years' time, 10 years, whenever. Meaning of Band-A is a revolution. It is us inching towards 24-hour electricity. And you cannot have 24-hour electricity anywhere in the world without paying for it. Band-A is the highest tariff in Nigeria, 209 naira per kilo hour. It is lower than anywhere in West Africa. Check Ghana, check Senegal, check Gambia. You will see that what we're paying here is still lower than others. But that aside, Band-A tariff is about a tariff without subsidy. Government has removed subsidy from Band-A. If you are in Band B, C, D, or E.
Chief, let me quickly comment there, because you just said something now. You said the tariff, just a moment. You said the tariff is 209 naira. I think that for those who are on Band-A, they might want to contradict that. Maybe you're not including the VAT that is charged on it. I mean, but cumulatively, Band-A for a number of people is 225 naira. not 209 naira. That's on the one hand. And just to say that you talked about me saying it is exploitative. I'm quoting Professor Patutomi, who says it is exploitative and lacking in economic sense. Those were the words of his own briefing in the State of the Nation address, which he did yesterday. He says, a university professor in Band A, for instance, spends 75% of his salary on electricity tariff alone. So while it might be that, oh, these calculations are going on, the question has always been whether we're contextualizing how much we're really asking Nigerians to pay, even Nigerians who are supposed to be on the higher spectrum of, you know, the earning capacity, of the earning ladder, even according to what government expects people to earn. So I think that is the conversation people are asking for. Is that conversation still ongoing?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me first of all make this very clear. We don't get involved in what commentators, professors, politicians have the right to have their own opinion or analyze situation, whether on power sector or anything. When we talk about tariff, or whether the tariff is truly cost reflective or not, the authority for this is the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. If NEC speaks on this, they are the authority to talk about it. But others have the right to say anything. Then when you now go down to the point of mentioning people's salary vis-a-vis what they spend on electricity, that is not our business. That is nothing to do with the sector. The sector, the product we are selling, nobody will come to channel television and say, your advert is too expensive because I'm a teacher. Because I'm a teacher, charge me less. It cannot work. You tell us either you do the advert here or you go elsewhere. So the issue is not about that. And regarding Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission meant well. What they want to do is to make things easier for their people. And the minister immediately made a statement. He said, and I quote, any state slashing power tariff must be ready to pay subsidy. What he's saying is that at 2050 or 2090, remember, when you say Band A is this, it's that. It was initially 225. It went down to 202, 209, 206, 205. The changes happen from time to time because of the economic indices. But the point to be made is this. The gap between Band A and Band B is very wide. It is wide because while Band A is free from subsidy, Band B, C, D, and E are still being subsidized by at least 10%. Now, when they did what they did, what the minister is saying is that if you want to reduce to 160 naira as you have done, you have to pay the top up. Just top it up. You don't pay that up front, you are okay.
But even at that,
now they are having conversation.
Yeah.
Now meetings are being held. Remember, it is not a clash. Somebody else told me maybe there's a clash of law. No, there's no clash. People just need to know they are banned.
Okay. Well, there are so many conversations to go around, you know, on that matter, because for now we've only just talking about maybe one or two issues of all the sundry issues in the power sector, particularly that concerns discourse. And hopefully we'll be able to have you some other time. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Mr. Nton is the CEO of ANIT. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a short break and we'll return with another discussion. Stay with us.
The economy of any nation forward.
Well, we are switching gears now to politics. Yesterday, we saw a group of politicians within the APC, but they say that they are ex-members of the ANPP, making demands of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Listen to what they said.
The Association of the former ANPP members hereby calls on our President, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to ensure that the vice presidential seat is made sacrosanct for the ANPP bloc in the governing APC for the 2027 presidential election, as millions of the former ANPP members across the country who voted massively for the current ticket you are serving will be disappointed if you choose another person outside the ANPP bloc in the APC as your vice president. ANPP bloc in APC parades seasoned and tested politicians like the Vice President of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, serving governors like...
Well, for a number of people, this might have come as a bit of a surprise because, I mean, the party has since merged to become the APC since 2014, and it was rather shocking that there are still blocks being maintained within the All Progressives Congress. Well, this morning, we're going to be looking at what is happening within the APC, because it appears that all might not be well within the All Progressives Congress. And to look at this, we have Dr. Sunny Moniadafe joining us. As an APC stalwart, and he's been in the APC for quite a while. From
AC, I've been there.
All the way from Adamawa State.
Yes, a progressive.
Indeed. Well, this is what we heard yesterday, and for some of us watching, we're like, what is going on? Are these blocks still very relevant within the All Progressives Congress?
It's very unfortunate. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Nigerians. When I came out to aspire for the national chairmanship in 2020, somebody talked about Al-Makura as angling from the CPC angle. That should be given a slot. I made a comment. I said, we should have outgrown those things by this time. I'm surprised. I was shocked when I did yesterday. Talking about AMP now, but they have a cause because people see religion, politics as something just, it's like religion. You have your interest to protect, and if you don't get it, you have to make noise. I don't blame them. Because right now, when the CPC came up with their own block led by Senator Al-Makura, I called Governor Regbeshela, who has now gone back to he's an ADC member. I spoke to Fayemi. Said, lead us to let's meet the president, telling that the ACN also should just go and showing that we exist. They don't nobody answered me. We have a G37 platform. Former chairman of the ACN, G37. We have been trying to reach them. Nobody has cared. So, but I think I agree with them. I have a point.
You agree? With the people, with them. Do you think that your party could be heading for the rocks?
I think
2027?
I think we are, because I'm sorry to say this, President Tinubu is not doing well. He has forgotten now. People should be out there defending the various politics, foxpaw, if you call it, of the president. Nobody's talking. People appointed from outside, they don't even know what to talk about, and don't even go and talk. We just keep quiet and be looking. Once he's done with it, you come and fall back on them, go to the party office. You see photographs of the campees. What about us that work for this party? Nothing. That's the honest truth.
So are you speaking from the part of somebody who is unhappy with what is happening in the party?
Oh, okay, I'm not
or you're having a very clear analysis, a very objective view of what is happening within the party? Because some people will say, what has happened with regards to the NEC, the fact that you could even hold a National Executive Committee meeting is signal, because some people have been saying that meeting, it was very strategic, that it was able to hold, and it ended well. And it didn't look like all of these divisions that people have been talking about reared its head at that meeting. So how do we know that your predictions that it could be heading for the rocks?
Apparently, people are selected to be there because if you're looking at the neck of a meeting, we should have had by now a forum, elders forum. But there's a word for it. That should be the guide, the conscience of the party. But because they know that they will never support what Tinubu is doing, he has not bothered to call them. For example, we should have during the ACN days, we had this meeting, caucus, they call it caucus. They used to meet at the Lagos House to strategize on everything that will be done. It's no longer there. So apparently the president has his own different. I have to say this. I have said it in the past, I want to repeat it here. I have never seen or heard or read about somebody looking for a second term from the first day he was sworn in. Tinubu did that. I was on a sister station on Rise Television on the 29th of May, 2023. And Anyagolu told me that President Tinubu had removed subsidy. I was arguing with him because I was at the Ville at Eagle Square. I was there. I was busy with that. I didn't even hear him talk about those things. Apparently, he was looking for second term from day one. Now he has forgotten everything. He thinks he wants to create a new structure. It's not possible. Now, this part of it, the MP is talking about. That meeting I held in Gombe shouldn't have failed. Or they shouldn't have handled it that way. So have handled it in a better way. Coming to say that we are endorsing only Tinubu, even if Tinubu has a right to pick who will become his vice. You don't say like that because apparently Zulum had some stories from somewhere. They moved out. Now AMPP has come out to say they want. I don't blame them.
Not only that has happened.
There's a crisis in the party.
We've come a long way from Gombe, and there have been insinuations as to what exactly the relationship of the president and the vice president could be. There are those who are insinuating that there could be divisions, especially after the vice president also made a statement about whether or not he supported. I mean, what was right, and statements were, or insinuations were read in the statement of the vice president, but his office has since come out to say that there is no such thing. I mean, he was just saying things as they were at the time, and he also pointed out differentiations. However, these insinuations have not stopped. We've since continued to hear, things like this. You must pick the vice president. You must continue with him come 2027, etc., etc. But it would seem that this is the first time we're hearing a caveat associated with a threat of sorts.
Thank you. Now, you see, I was saddened to hear the comments of many people, including journalists, Ruben Abati, saying that he only suspended the caveat. The whole issue went around removal of the serving governor of Rivers State. That he was not removed, he was suspended. Removed, suspended, or whatever. No elected president has the right to remove an elected governor. None. I just shook my head. And I remembered when Onogen, was it Onogen that was removed? No, not Onogen. What was it that was removed?
It's a justice now. That's the Supreme Court justice.
Yes, yes. He was removed. And people were saying that he was not removed, he was suspended.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Of Nigeria, yes.
He was suspended.
I'm like, so the remove was suspended. He has no right to do all those things. Let's be honest. Now, apparently, did you watch the clip of, they call it a protocol breach? Because the picture showed the vice president and I think Buhari's son enter the aircraft first. And then the Minister of Foreign Affairs was about to enter. President Tinubu called him back. President Tinubu was looking shocked. There's fire in the mountain. And President Tinubu better wake up. Because truly, it could only take one day to solve it. Call us. We're not small people. Maybe you are here, right from Lagos. I've been going all over. To the glory of God, I single-handedly fought for Oshomole to become governor of Edo State, Aringbeshola, Oshun, Fayoshe, Ekiti. I went around media houses in Abuja, promoting and fighting. Went to Lagos.
Yeah, but have you been able to speak internally to those, the stalwarts within your party?
How do you get them? They don't pick your calls. I have their numbers. Tinubu, Fashola, Bisa Konde, this minister for made the minister. I have their numbers. I call them. Nobody cares. Solidarity was a journalist when I was moving all over Abuja. They don't pick your calls. I'm wondering what's happening. Nigeria is going down, and I'm sorry to say this. People will be shocked hearing it from me. I'm tired of keeping quiet. I care for Nigerians. And in all this equation, where are the Nigerian people? None. None. AMPP, I don't blame them. CPC has done it. APC, HCNs will wake up. Okay, let's balance it. We too want to be giving. Yes, we agree that Oshomole, Fashola, what's this? Odigi, Oyegun, and Co. We're ACA members. Right now, we had CPC with the president there, and they're sticking over.
Could this be a more personal battle that you are waging, that you are shrouded in this, thing of interest for your party? Oh, the party seems to be heading to the rocks because you are not able to get what it is you desire from your party.
We should know better than that. We should know better than that, because when I went to defend Dimeji Bankole, I think you were with channels then, and the Maryland, I was ACN chairman in Abuja. Dimeji Bankole was PDP, was Speaker of the House of Reps. He made a comment about power, that President Obasanjo has spent 16 billion naira on power. They moved against him. I went to speak for Dimeji Bankole. Lai Mohammed is the PRO of ACN, they reported me. And I came and said, look, I was speaking my mind. And he told Atiku, I was speaking my mind, and I was justified. I don't do such things. Nigerians are suffering. Yes, I deserve to be given an appointment. I've not gotten it. And I ask you a question. All these things going on now, who have you seen in the APC coming out to defend the president? None. because he has not appointed anybody. And that's what
He has
comes
enough
with politics.
spokespeople.
He has what?
He has enough spokespeople. And
Okay, well, let them continue, because are they going around?
Not just that, we see more people defecting into the APC.
Are they talking for the party?
And they're speaking for the president. They say, oh, this president understands what he's doing.
Oh, really? I saw the former governor of Borno State yesterday saying that if Tinubu doesn't win, it's either he doesn't contest or whatever. Come on. With due respect to Tinubu, with due respect, we have this God up there. You see the same God yesterday, today, and forever. Abacha formed 5 parties, and Bishop Konde, I keep making this mistake, Bola Ige, the late Bola Ige, called it 5 fingers of a leprous hand. All of them had endorsed Abacha to be the presidential candidate for them, all of them. Abacha died. Jonathan had the same thing. He was just minding his business in Port Harcourt. He was too gentle. They made him deputy governor of Bayelsa State. From there, he moved, became vice president. We were the ones that made him, fought for him to become accepted as president, talking of necessity. We did it. I don't care about myself. I think about people first. That's how I am. Now, people would think that we are just telling because that's what you think. I'm just telling you that things are not going right. Even picking of Abdullah Adamu as chairman, I'm like, why? Look, if you have the government in place, you don't have to bother about doing these things. Call the various delegates and say, look, this is who we want. Let us vote. You don't appoint a national chairman.
There's a new chairman now.
You don't do that. You don't appoint.
In some way, you'll want
that. That man, I wish him the best. I wrote him immediately. I want to see him. Let's make amends quick. It's not too late because Nigerians are going, this MP stuff took me unawares yesterday.
Are you considering defecting?
No, that's one thing. See, if I defect, it'll be like I built the house. People have come in and I left it for them. I'm in APC. I'm a progressive. I never move. But if this government continues, I'll be forced because there's still enough time for me to make corrections and for me to defect. For now, I am an APC member. Even though people are insulting me, I don't care. Say I'm doing ABCD, I don't care. I am speaking the truth. The truth will always be vindicated.
Well, we'll certainly keep watching. As you said, 2 years is a long time for things to develop in politics. We have to thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning on Sunrise Daily.
My pleasure.
Sonny Monieda-Fi, PhD, is a stalwart of the APC from Adamawa State. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure, Mark.
Well, that's where we'll wrap up the program this beautiful Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. I'm Maokwe Okunyusuf.
I'm Ayo Makinde. Enjoy the rest of your day.